Focusing on the big picture. The strategy of starting over. Where does this normally come up? It comes up in a variety of different contexts, but let me tell you just the one that I normally am used to seeing this. You apply for disability benefits. You've gotten denied twice. You've gone before a judge. You've gotten denied by a judge. You go to appeals counsel. You get denied by the appeals counsel. This is probably about a good 2.5, 3 years down the line. All of a sudden, you're at the appeals counsel level. You've been denied. You have a representative who's saying they want to file you, move into federal court, and they want you to start a new application. I cannot begin to tell you the number of people who get pissed when they hear that famous phrase, I need you to start over. All of a sudden, they think that, oh, I have spent 3 years of my life wasting my time. You're now making me have to go through this whole process all over again. I don't even know why I even bother. Why I thought this is not even worth it. I don't even know why it's worth my time. Why should I be bothered with it? I mean, the whole kit and caboodle. Now, usually when I'm listening to people, I give them about a good minute or two to vent. Just pause for a second. Okay. And then when they're finished, I'm like, okay, are you done? When they've calmed down, I explain to them, let me explain to you a couple of circumstances why I recommend that you should reapply if you're eligible to reapply. First, if you're filing in federal court, in essence, you have 2 applications going at the same time. Let me say this again. If you're filing in federal court, in essence, you end up having 2 applications going at the same time. Federal court tends to take anywhere from 1.5 years to longer, depending on the court and jurisdiction. So it's good to have at least 2 claims going at the same time. Secondly, this is the thing that drives people nuts. A lot of times they get angry because they believe all the strong evidence is in their old claim. The new evidence, why can't they rely on the new one? You never know what happens to the new one. Remember, different set of eyes, different set of circumstances. So you never know. You may have the possibility of actually getting approved on a subsequent application while your old one is pending. Third, it's a marathon, people, not a sprint. Just because you went through this whole thing the first time around does not guarantee you're going to have it happen again. Now, is there a possibility it could happen again? Sure. I'm not going to sit here and tell you a lie that you can't. But am I saying that you're probably going to get the same workers the second time around? No, you're probably not. Are you going to get the same judge second time around? You're probably not. Note the emphasis on probably. But the reality is that sometimes, in some instances, your condition may have gotten worse after you initially applied. So maybe the medical records are actually stronger than they were when you initially started. Maybe the doctors that you have on board with you this time around may be more helpful than they were the first time around. Recognize this, and one of the things that I tell people, and I'm going to tell you this, and I say it all the time, the disability process is a marathon. I know that your bills will not stop coming in just because you're applying. I know that they won't, keep your lights on just because you're telling them you're applying for disability and ask them, hey, why don't you hold off on sending me a light bill for like 2 years until I get this thing shaken up? I got you. And I know that the reality is that people have got to eat, you got to have a place to stay. And unfortunately, the one thing that frustrates a lot of people is that there really is no support system out there in place or infrastructure in place to provide support to those who are waiting to get disability benefits. Because the reality is you have to prove you're disabled. It's wild because all of the bells and whistles that you're looking for that you get to support you, you get it after you prove you're disabled, not before. Because the reality is there's no guarantee you could be found disabled. So I'm going to share with you something that I talked when I was speaking to a young lady who called me, who I told her this. Because she was like, what should I do? If you're thinking about applying for Social Security, brace yourself and prepare your support system. Because you're going to be in this for a while. A lot of crazy things are going to happen. The bills don't stop coming. But recognize the bigger picture. It's all about the strategy. It's the long game. Social Security is a marathon, not a sprint.